This evening, let's explore Vajrasattva's spaciousness. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. This is the Lama you are looking for. This evening, we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as transformatively as Rey on Octo under the guidance of Luke, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. If at any point during this evening's live stream you have a question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply them to your life, there is no need to be bashful. Simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. Don't wait till the end. Strike while the iron is hot. So, quick like a bunny. Oopsie, wrong button. Let's try this one. If you find value in these live streams, allow me to remind you that with your assistance, this channel could help to support the next generation of nuns, monks, yogis, lamas, and even brick-and-mortar meditation centers, each replete with a resident teacher and their apprentice. If this speaks to you and you'd like to help out, even for as little as the cost of 1 cup of coffee a month, simply use your smartphone's camera to capture this QR code, or if you're old school, simply click one of the donation links in the description area below the video. If you've just joined me, remember, when you have a question, type it in great detail in the chat window. Listen, O virtuous one, I will show you the truth of your being. There we go. That's what we call an edit. You are and always have been like Vajrasattva, the infinite consciousness, living presence, and creative power of the divine. The vast spaciousness of being always good, the way of liberation for all beings, beyond appearance and disappearance, and beyond the grasp of the intellect. Love being our essence, attainment is already complete, and there is no need to strive at practicing great compassion. Love being the supreme good, there is no need either to extol the many splendid qualities of compassion. Phenomena are not other than the true condition. Without input on our part, they appear and disappear. Naturally arising wisdom need not be actively sought. Self-liberating by nature, it reveals the way. Earth, air, fire, and water are the indwelling of the Take two. Earth, air, fire, and water are the indwelling divine. Despite our mistaken notions, liberation dawns from within our own being and is not dependent on others. Supreme wisdom is difficult to realize except by way of wisdom itself. Let's explore this a little deeper. What we're talking about here is the wisdom of letting go. So now let's elaborate this. Supreme wisdom is difficult to realize except by the way of the wisdom of letting go itself. Now we could replace the phrase supreme wisdom with freedom from anxiety. We cannot outthink our anxiety. It can't be done. It's like the coyote trying to outrun the roadrunner. It ain't gonna happen. So if we can't out-reason our anxiety and we cannot out-imagine our anxiety, then what are we to do? As we breathe in, we are to notice our anxiety vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly, and all its brutality and horror. As we exhale, we are to physically relax and thus mentally release. If we persist in that, in noticing and releasing, although anxiety could persist in being there, it will not persist in controlling our choices or our utterances or our deeds. Let's continue. Dependence on others is merely notional, since bliss actuality arises naturally from within. And yet the miraculous is not beyond our recognition, due to intuitive insight into the natural state. Our innate capacities and spiritual powers come to the fore naturally from within our own inner depths. Real meditation is effortless letting go. Take two. Real meditation is effortless letting go in the true condition. This true condition never appears to us as something which can be seen. Striving to grasp it, we prevent the recognition of its true nature. Nor can the supreme secrecy of the primal continuum be revealed by hearing about it. Nor can words reveal its nature even in the barest measure. I don't care how eloquent you think you are, you cannot describe the taste of a ripe strawberry. The suffering of sentient beings is only consciousness, intrinsically perfect energy in varied forms. Beyond movement unshaken, it abides equally in all. People talk of karma, in truth there is only consciousness beyond all our notions. For those imprisoned in the ups and downs of thought and emotion, the pristine continuum of awareness remains hidden. The mind of awakening The mind of awakening gives rise to all appearances. Being unborn, it is indestructible. This timeless space of pure being is beyond the reach of thought. So, what is the mind of awakening? It's a mind that notices in harmony with our inhalation and relaxes in harmony with our exhalation, in harmony with our sympathetic nervous system and our parasympathetic nervous system. Unborns is just a fancy way of saying that when we relax into our exhalation, that which we notice during our in-breath can feel as if it was as non-graspable as if it had never been born. This timeless space of pure being is beyond the reach of thought. The deepest meditative tranquility does not think of itself as this or that. Welcome to the live stream. When you have a question about the Buddha's meditation or philosophy or how to apply them to the particulars of your life, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of your screen. There is no need to conceptualize or purify the mind of concepts, although wisdom may, as it comes to the fore, take the form of concepts. So, please chant with me as best you can. So meditators strive to put the minds into a thought-free state, thinking this gives them access to something subtle. They isolate. Let's see here. Here we go. Gotta clear something up. Mistakenly thinking that gives them access to something subtle. They isolate themselves in lonely places. Examine closely, this is soon to be a form of conceptual meditation. Thinking in terms of causes and results, the seekers strive to transcend this world. They reject the bad and accept the good. Although non-dual wisdom already transcends the dualities like bad and good. Clinging and indifference are concepts so to echo like is anything in between. Joy and sorrow arise from the same source, so declares the Vajra sought for refuge of all. Whereas could aversion, attachment, and anger arise, except from the luminous energy of the mind. Objects of pleasure are also just this, formulations of the energy of the light of wisdom. So energy is what we experience when we breathe in. And when we breathe out, that which we previously noticed now feels as non-graspable as if it was just a bit of light. Concepts are like space, but neither space nor concepts ever come to true existence. Abiding in spacious consciousness beyond desire and directed intent, one's condition widens to infinity. I'm having trouble chanting that, so I think I will edit it for ease of recitation. Abiding in spacious consciousness beyond desire, and directed intent, one's condition widens to infinity. Concept-free equanimity is the ground of being. Concept-free equanimity is the ground of being. But like the moon reflected on water, it cannot be grasped. Remember this simile. We will return to it again. Through the divine creative energy, the vibratory sounds of speech are manifested. The mantric sounds of Ah and Ta and Pa and the many elaborations. Please chant with me. Express the creative power of infinite consciousness and figure forth the mind of light. How amazing that the enlightened realm is never found by seeking, and can never be perceived by the six senses. Those who seek it in this way are like blind ones grasping for the sky. A graduated spiritual path of purification is at odds with the effortlessness of the true condition. Realization does not come by following such a path. That is like searching for the end of space. The true condition of being what it is, revealed as it is, cannot be seen as a path to travel. The state of effortless enlightenment is a source of all. Its manifestations are all marvelous wonders. Past and present abide within the true condition. The eternal now of consciousness is the path for all. Now let's explore this a bit further. In the present moment, you can spontaneously imagine the future. In the spontaneous moment, you can spontaneously recall the past. In the present moment, you can spontaneously reimagine the past. What makes it the present moment? That you notice it, and that you relax in harmony with the two phases of breathing. This is such as the light of wisdom, the realization of enlightened beings both past and yet to come. This living presence is the universal way. The moon and its reflection on water is non-dual. The mind of awakening is known to be found by those engrossed in fabricated features and stages of the way. This is important. One of the things that astonished me when I was in high school biology was that I learned three things. A, we don't know all the secrets of photosynthesis. B, we have labeled all the processes of photosynthesis. C, we often confuse labeling a process for understanding a process, but that is an error. Just as we may be able to label the processes we don't understand, the Buddha warned us that counting others' cows does not make us wealthy. It is better to practice the way, then analyze it. Focusing attention on present pleasures and the future consequences is a limiting way to follow any path. It is something to avoid. Well then, how do we keep from being evil bastards? Simple. We already are, unless we were born a psychopath or endured some catastrophic neurological injury. Every healthy mammal possesses an empathy center. We are already wired for empathy. When we have a healthy meditation practice, I should say a healthy meditation practice enables us to enables our choices and our utterances and our deeds to flow from centered spontaneity. This centered spontaneity, empowered by our empathy, ensures the benignness, if not benefit, of our actions. So remember, turmoil is not centeredness. There's tumultuous spontaneity and centered spontaneity. Tumultuous spontaneity will make you prance about like the Tasmanian devil from a Bugs Bunny cartoon. I wouldn't recommend it. Past, present, and future are one, not three. Only the present has endured throughout time. The nature of reality pervades the whole of creation, its wonderful qualities everywhere to be found. Everything that appears in all the worlds derives from karma, is rooted in concepts, and is phantasmal in nature. Even the situation of a universal emperor is merely a training ground for dealing with illusion. Everything is illusion. Everything that we notice during our in-breath is experienced as illusion when we relax into our exhalation. Everything from the highest God to the deepest demon, and every act and consequence in between. Those who meditate using the time-bound intellect will never be liberated within the time-bound frame of their imagining. For those whose practice is rooted in present striving, everything said about emptiness fully applies to that. The essence is one, unobstructed, unborn, and the way of the yogi is like the path of a bird in the sky. How then can we suppose that phenomena actually exist? Inner and outer phenomena are both the one real condition, which is not an object to be grasped by the conceptual mind. Excuse me. The things of this world are merely based on mistaken concepts, and so it is we fail to experience the quality of deep contemplation. The outer and inner spiritual commitments that we take up pertain to the constituents and senses of the body-mind, which has never been other than the true condition. Therefore, There is therefore no benefit in talking about spiritual commitments. Appearance and symbols of the all-good never change into something other than presence. Never being other than presence, appearance is all therefore the basis of the wisdom of letting go. In the absence of grasping, nothing has a self-identity. So, as we breathe in, we might say, "This is me." But as we relax into our exhalation, that label loses its momentum and perhaps even its solidity. Absent rejecting, there is only the equality that transcends speech. So what I'm going to do, quick like a bunny, is add this. All possible circumstances and all beings in them arise non-dually from the pristine continuum. In the purity of divine presence there are no such distinctions as male or female. In the domain of reality there is no talk of getting somewhere by means of effort. This is important. Many people think effort is a virtue. And yet some say that by using the powers of sound, one can generate the bliss of a magical illusion. The true condition cannot be grasped conceptually, but appears in varied ways according to how one views it. To strive for bliss, desiring it to manifest, only generates obscurity and confusion. That reminds me of my high school dating debacles. A therapist once told me, you can't make someone love you, but you can sure make them hate you. Perhaps that can be applied to anyone, anything, or any phenomena we find ourselves chasing. Meditating on the appearances of a deity is like meditating on the reflections of the moon in water. Although such meditators strive to be undefiled and unattached, their practices are like child's play. One may even identify fully with a wrathful deity in a mandala of wrathful attributes, and unmistakably manifest the seed syllable and yet not experience the suchness in which concepts disappear. One may crop a palm tree or burn a seed to prevent them from proliferating, and some teachers even advocate such a destructive approach for students who wish to overcome their emotional problems. Moreover, there are hundreds and even thousands of methods for practice, and they all blossom in their own way. But since pristine awareness is beyond characteristics, it is not revealed by practices such as these. Blessed are the yogis who abide continuously in the true condition, not discriminating between self and other. They enjoyed the magical illusion while abiding in the great perfection of phenomena of perfect and complete, nothing excluded. So, there are some people who say you must not enjoy this or that for it is sinful. However, during the time of Christ, many Pharisees were of the same opinion. But Jesus, who many felt was a student of the Buddha, Jesus behaved in a way that pretty much gave the Pharisees a conniption fit. Similarly, you can find people who are rigid and controlling in every culture, and every religion, on every populated continent. Like many adult survivors of child abuse, I was raised to think that if you just placate the bullies and the fools, they will leave you alone. But as an adult, I learned the very hard way that no matter how much you give them, they always want more, until you are nothing but a stain on the sole of their shoe. It's better to flow from centered spontaneity. It's better to flow from the centered spontaneity that is the product of noticing and releasing, practicing mindfulness and meditation in harmony with our inhalation and exhalation. Do that, and everything will take care of itself, despite the conniption fits of fools. Let's continue. The true condition is equality beyond change, spaciousness without limit, beyond dependent arising, beyond causes and conditions. Incomparable wisdom alone knows the blissful continuum of self-perfection. The domain of the ultimately real which does not arise from extraneous causes and conditions. There is no ritual needed. This insight is easy, so easy, in fact, that it seems difficult. Although all-pervading, the continuum is invisible. It cannot be pointed out by saying this is it, not even by Vajrasattva himself. This amazing, wonderful display of energy, spacious by nature, transcends action. From within or deep unknowingness beyond thought and thinking, these dynamic potentials suddenly arise. And that concludes this evening's chanting. Now let us surf the momentum of these many words and meditate. As we breathe in, we practice the mindfulness that watches the play of mind, as silently and mentally we recite, noticing. As we exhale, we meditate, relaxing into the non-graspable nature of mind and its play, as silently and mentally we recite, relaxing. As you do this, sit comfortably, sit nice and tall, breathe from your diaphragm. It's 33 minutes after the hour. Let's meditate. When you have questions about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or their application, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. But don't wait. Strike while the iron is hot. All right, good afternoon. Someone wrote, let's see, Natakan Sator Satorn Keat wrote, I just meditate. There aren't many types of techniques to meditation that I practice. But what is there a special way that Buddhism adheres to? Very well. And if I mispronounce your name, I mean no disrespect. In any pursuit, whether it's Buddhism or Taoism or Hinduism or Sikhism or Jainism, there is going to be a wealth of opinions. From my perspective, according to the text that we chanted at the beginning part of the live stream, the most spiritually productive meditation, if we want greater peace and freedom, is to meditate in harmony with the two functions of our autonomic nervous system. As we breathe in, our sympathetic nervous system has been wired by evolution to notice, not concentrate, but notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. We might notice the external or the internal, the physical or the mental, the pleasurable or the painful, the interesting or the boring, the glorious or the grotesque. During each exhalation, our parasympathetic nervous system has been wired by evolution to both physically relax and mentally release. That might not seem terribly impressive, but if you're an old guy like myself and you remember the computers we had in the 90s, remember before we had glass hard drives, when we had metal hard drives, there was a defragmentation process. We would do about once a week or once a month to make sure that our hard drives were efficient. Similarly, aligning the intention of our higher mind with the rudimentary programming of our undermind to notice and release in a therapeutic manner is the biological equivalent of defragmenting our hard drive. Now, the test of a technique is not how persuasively it is explained. Au contraire, the test of a technique are the results we generate when we practice that technique once every 12 hours for 7 consecutive days. So whether you practice for 5 minutes or 50 minutes, do that once every 12 hours. Play with this technique once every 12 hours for 7 days, and then notice your results. If you like your results, you may wish to continue this technique. If you hate these results, you may want to find a different technique. Additionally, what can be helpful is when meditating, to sit in a comfortable way, using whatever cushions you need to protect your joints. Sit nice and tall. Breathe sustainably from your diaphragm. There is nothing wrong with pranayama, but this is different than pranayama. This is gentle, very gentle. The easiest way to implement these instructions is to silently and mentally recite the phrase or the word noticing as you breathe in, and to silently and mentally recite the word relaxing as you breathe out. No worries, my friend. All of us make typos. No problem at all. A funnier man than me once said, "How am I expected to write creatively if I do not spell creatively?" So N wrote, there are times where my heart is eager to stay put and go longer and longer, but my lower back and the will to be very still starts getting a little harder. There are times when the ego takes that. Let's explore that. Please, my friend, do not make the mistake that I did. In my youth, I thought it was very, very brave and very heroic to ignore my body's signals that it was in distress. I did not understand in my foolishness that pain is not imaginary. We evolved the ability to perceive pain, to prevent injury and death. And we ignore pain at our peril. Because I ignored my pain, pain turned into injuries. And now I have spurs growing on the tips of my femurs that slice into the linings of my hips. And my lower back has degenerated. The vertebrae of my lower back has degenerated. So please do not make the mistake I did. Listen to your body. Make lifestyle adjustments to maximize the amount of time you can comfortably do things. Drink water, eat fruit and vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and the like. Get plenty of sleep and gentle exercise like walking or calisthenics. But listen to your body. And when your body wants water or rest, then give it those things. And perhaps your body will serve you for many years to come. I'm glad you sit straight, but by all means, respect your limitations, please. Those who strive heroically often come to a bad end. Be gentle to your body, respect its limitations, and in time, your body could surprise you and allow you to sit longer and longer as the length of your sessions progress spontaneously and incrementally. That's one of the rewards of listening to your body. I would like to conclude this evening's live stream with the following request. If you feel that I have earned it, please type something in the chat window. Give this live stream a thumbs up and share this on social media. In approximately 11 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early morning meditation. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the